The Commissioner of Education, that's a national extension of the position first undertaken by Horace Mann in Massachusetts, 1837. Remember that Commissioner was the New York State title. The national position was created in 1876. It's part of a bill calling for the creation of a Department of Education. The bill was sponsored by a young representative from Ohio by the name of James Garfield. You probably know that name. Garfield was assassinated when he was president. The bill calling for the Department of Education was passed, but the department was not given departmental status. It wasn't a cabinet post. The commissioner himself, the first one to hold it, was a fellow by the name of Henry Barnard. He was state commissioner in Connecticut. He was state commissioner in Rhode Island. He was a contemporary and an ally of Horace Mann, who was in Massachusetts at the time. Henry was also chancellor of the University of Wisconsin. He was president of St. John's University. So he's one of the logical people to own that position. The agency really didn't become much until probably our lifetimes. It was moved and given many name changes over time, ultimately achieves cabinet status during the last years of the Carter, and this is Jimmy Carter now, administration. Which brings us to the question, if a man spoke in the forest and there was no woman to hear, would he still be wrong? Okay, we're moving on again. We're into the higher education, and this is just one of those placeholder slides that tells you what's coming up. We're going to talk about Cooper Union, as they say here in East Texas. We're going to talk about the Chautauqua Movement, and a little section that I'm calling A Nation of Colleges. Cooper Union is the brainchild of a fellow by the name of Peter Cooper. It was founded in New York City in 1859 and provided education beyond high school for working class men and women. There were open admissions, like many of our community colleges today. It was tuition free, like many of us wish our institutions of higher education were today. And more than anything else, it was a biggie in the education of women. For many women, this was the only thing around. And not only that, open admissions and free. So a lot of working ladies, and I don't mean ladies of the evening, I mean secretaries and what have you, would work their daily grind and then in the evening go down to Cooper Union and take classes in whatever they wanted to. Cooper Union survives, although to get to it today, it's in the Bowery in New York. You probably have to step over a number of derelicts on the way. Probably not a tremendous place to go, but we don't want to get into that. The Chautauqua Movement began in 1874 as a normal school for Sunday school teachers. It was one of those nice things on the lovely shores of Lake Chautauqua, which is in the Finger Lakes region of central New York. Beautiful in the summertime. Come on up, study, become a better school normal teacher. It progressed from strictly summer programs to winter sessions to correspondence courses. William Rainey Harper. William Rainey made his name first as a Chautauqua organizer. If there was one thing that William Rainey Harper could do better than just about anyone else, it was organize things. And since a program involving summer programs, winter sessions, correspondence courses needed someone who could keep the ball going, William Rainey Harper was a perfect one. When it came time for not Nelson Rockefeller, was it Nelson? The boss man, the big guy. Lord, I forgot his name. Anyway, when it came time for him to search around for someone to be president of his newly created University of Chicago, he said, "You can't have my money unless I get William Rainey Harper to be president." So Harper made his name there, as did Charles Van Hise. Why do I remember Charles Van Hise? Because there was a Van Hise building on the campus of the University of Wisconsin. Charles was one of the presidents there, and Charles was a big man in the Chautauqua Movement before going on to the presidency at the University of Wisconsin. A nation of colleges. 9 colonial colleges survived the Revolution. When I say 9, I'm including Philadelphia. By 1870, there were over 300. We'll talk about the asterisk when we get to it. Just a little note at this time. England, which had a population of 23 million people, managed to get by with 4 universities, while the state of Ohio, population only 3 million, required 37 institutions of higher learning. You see why I'm calling this a nation of colleges? We just had to have a college here, and if you had to have one, well then go ahead and create one. Most of them were denominational. And to hearken back to what we spoke about a lesson or two ago, remember that study by Tewksbury, in which he estimated another 721 institutions had failed? So we are truly, at this moment in time, a nation of colleges. We probably still are a nation of colleges.